Hello, everybody. We're getting set up. Give us a couple minutes, waiting on one or two folks to show up, and we'll get started. I'd like to find out who's all watching with us tonight. Say hello, and we'll get started here just in a few. All right, looks like Matt's trying to join. Okay. Hey, Matt, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good, good.
I might need to do something about that light.
Hello, fellow hairdresser.
How's it going?
Good.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure if my mic was being picked up.
Yep, it's fine.
I think I'll have to go on record and pick some winners here for the old Daytona 24. I got to think about this anyway because we always do a pool with my sim racing team. It's not that anybody wins anything; it's just gotta get them bragging rights. I did do. There was actually a pool for this this service that does setups for iRacing. Last year when I went to Sebring physically in person. And I want to say out of the 8 classes that were there, I did the best on, can't remember. I think it was WEC, not IMSA, but anyway, I think I got like 6 out of 8 or 7 out of 8 correct.
So when is that race?
Daytona?
Yeah, this weekend?
Not this weekend. It's
that
following weekend.
Okay.
So I just wanted to get it out of the way because otherwise people would have a day to listen to this and then it's already happened. If they're listening 2 or 3 days out from when it's released, then it's already happened. If we wait till next week. That's an interesting team. Oh, okay.
Hey, Philip, what's going on? Thanks for joining us. Who else is out there watching tonight? You guys would do this StreamYard thing. It helps us out. See who it is in our StreamYard app versus looking at the Facebook app. We might have Jordan joining us a little later. I think he was running a little bit late tonight. But we'll probably go and get started. All right. Are you guys ready to go? Matt, Hayden, John?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go and get started. And John, I'll turn it over to you.
All right. What's up, guys? You're listening to the Colorado Cars and Coffee podcast with me, Steve, Hayden, and Matt, and hopefully Jordan a little bit. So let's just talk about our events that we have coming up here. On January 24th at 3 p.m., Julian's turning 3, his birthday. It's a birthday cruise, and you just bring your car, and the kids get excited to see it. It's on Facebook as an event. I'm not going to read out the whole URL, but I'm sure you can find it. The location, however, is going to be 3325 Meadow Ridge Drive, and that's in Colorado Springs, Colorado, in the Xfinity Roller Sports Arena.
Okay. Thanks, John. These birthday cruises were just huge last year. I think I think that was the first year that I'd really noticed that that was a thing. So huge. And now they're just kind of, we have just a few of them, but I think people have started to like them and still want to keep doing them.
Yeah.
On the 24th at 10:30, 24th, that is, what is that, Saturday or Sunday? That is Sunday. So this coming Sunday, there's an Audi Group Colorado weekly meet, and it's at Red Rocks in the Upper North paved lot. I went up there this Sunday with my wife, and there was a lot of Audis in there, but there also was quite a variety of other cars, BMWs, 2 Alphas, one was mine, but there was Terry was out there with his ZHP BMW convertible, and it was really good meets. Actually, it was nice. I didn't go on the cruise afterwards, but we just showed up just to check out the cars and had a good time. So it sounds like that's every Sunday.
If I still had a BMW that was drivable, I would drive it there. But maybe you'll come pick me up one of these days. You were Gary.
Sure, no problem.
Good stuff. So January 28th, which appears to be next Thursday, a week from when this podcast will be released, is there is an afternoon pop-up drive powered by Haggerty, and it's a roughly 2-hour drive into the foothills. The drive will start at the Haggerty office in Golden at 1 and will end roughly in the same area. And if you've never been over to Haggerty in Golden, that is 1010 Johnson Road, Golden, Colorado. We did a movie thing there, and then the world changed. Do you remember that, Steve?
Yes, I remember having to go buy a cable, and it worked out just fine. We got a good event.
We watched Rush, and then we were going to do Ford versus Ferrari, and then it didn't happen.
Yeah, I have the Ford versus Ferrari DVD. It's ready to go.
You still have it. Well, hey, when we can do it, we got the DVD ready to go, and we know that the audio setup is right.
Yeah.
So, and I think they were saying that they were gonna get a bigger projector and move the movie nights along. Yeah, we got to get that
right. Once we get out of this COVID stuff, or if they just open it up and let's say they restrict it to 20 or 30 people, we'll work with that. So we have reached out to Haggerty, Cody there, and we're going to find out what the options are. So we'd love to get back into doing that just on a regular basis. Have a charity night, show up, pay $10 for a ticket, sit down and watch a car movie. So
awesome.
Yeah. So I think that's all of our events, right? I don't think we have
so many.
Yeah. So if you guys know of other events coming up within the next week or so, post them in the chat. We'll announce them too. Hey, Chris. Hey, Corey. What's going on? Good to see you guys.
Please post events. Please tell us what events are happening.
Yes, please. If you find events, please post them. Like Philip has done. Philip's got an event coming up in May. What, Philip, you want to comment out there a little bit of details about that? Because I know you're planning that right now. So sounds like a big event. And while he's doing that, we'll go to the next thing. We'll come back to Philip.
Sure. Well, our next thing is topics, and one of the ones that we're talking about is about the Corvette SUV render that's been going around. It's been going back and forth if it's just a rumor or if it's being a future Buick model, and so some people have been putting their thoughts about that. But what do you guys think about it?
If you're GM, why do you want to follow Ford's steps exactly? By taking your your flagship sports car, and then, well, I guess it's not sports flagship or Ford's flagship technically, but it's they're well known for that. They've been around since 1965. The Mustang, it's a good brand. It went terribly the last time they tried to put it on another car,
right?
And I don't know. I don't get it. Obviously, it does look like a Corvette, but also GM did the whole Camaro front end on the Trailblazer thing this year too.
Yeah,
I see that
quietly. They didn't even let us know about it. They just dropped it, and we were like, "Hey, wait a second."
One thing I'll note about this, can you pull up the original image that this whole thing sparked from? It was
I
a
don't
CE
know
here,
if
I can
I
pull
have
up.
it. If you've got it,
See.
go ahead and share it, and I'll stop sharing here.
CE
But yeah, I think it's going to have certainly some haters and some lovers.
They can't be. They won't be. They won't be dumb enough to call it a Corvette, though. I don't think.
Hey, as long as it's
Okay.
mid-engine, I'm good.
Because they still got. Oh yeah,
The
Mid-engine
Corvette
SUV.
COE or something.
yeah. Steve, we'll let you have your mid-engine electric SUV. No, like they just, like I said, with the Trailblazer thing, they're just like, we're just going to copy and paste this design.
Yeah.
We're going to call it this name that we've had in the book. You guys might be familiar with it. Some of you guys like to pull out an aluminum 5.3 engine we put in those Trailblazers, put it in your 240. But yeah, it's I think it's going to be something like that. They're just going to call it something else. But yeah, why not stylize it like the Corvette?
Can you see the image?
There you go. Yep.
So yeah, here it
Keep
is. This is the right here
Oh,
is the first.
I mean, it looks
the
nice.
first image that you can see of it. But I'll note every other vehicle in that back row is a concept vehicle. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I mean, I'm not familiar with
haven't
these,
seen,
but they
yeah.
look concepty.
The four in the back don't look familiar. I mean, obviously the three up front are
Cadillacs.
electric.
Cadillac
flight,
and the Hummer.
The Hummer,
Yeah,
yes.
electric.
Stuff that they're pushing for electric. And this was unveiled at CES, I believe.
So maybe
Yeah.
it is just. I mean, I don't know. We don't know
so
until
no one
they
has
tell us.
actually, no one has come forth from GM and actually put out a statement about this. Correct. So it's all just speculation.
But that's
I
supposedly a
wouldn't put it
leak
past them.
thing. That red car.
I don't know.
No, that
That,
is artist conception.
Fan
Uh,
render, yeah. Okay.
Some dude good at Photoshop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. I just
Yeah, everyone's doing
Ford
that.
is obviously a good example of that negative press, I guess, against the whole.
But
electric
is there
Mustang thing.
is there such a thing as negative press?
Right?
And
Right.
in general, any press is great press. So
Right.
I don't know
Ford-
if everyone would agree with that.
Ford- Ford knows what they're doing. I mean,
But the
Ask
thing
Ford
is, right,
about Ford knows a thing or two about negative press. It was called the Pinto.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so obviously Ford does it with the Mustang, which has been around, since '65. It's a very solid name. GM just pushed the Corvette to the rear engine platform, so it just seems kind of ballsy that they would follow that up with mid rear
911 fanboys are going to spurg out.
rear mid engine. Technically, the Corvette was mid engine before the C8.
if you can put golf clubs in the back, it's not a rear engine; it's mid engine.
That's true.
But yeah, it just seems ballsy for them to follow that up immediately with an electric SUV.
We are seeing so much electric news right now.
Yeah.
We've got some more on the podcast tonight, so it's all coming. It's all coming.
It's the trendy thing, man. You seen the Tesla stock price? Come on, man. Everybody wants a piece of that pie.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
That's what it comes down to for me. It's just all back to that Tesla stock price, man. People see that, they're just like, wait a second, really?
So we've said it on the podcast several times before. The future is electric, regardless of what the end platform is. It may not be battery powered electric, but electric motors are going to be the core of the drivetrains going forward. So
most driving for most people, the questions that I always have about it, and the reason I'm not invested in something like Tesla, which I'm sure I'll regret in 10 years, but is that I just see all the problems with like scaling and everything, and not only the power grid, but also like the the minerals needed. I won't go too deeply into it, but it's mostly like those two things is like scalability of power grid, scalability of production.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Where's that lithium mine picture?
oh yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
Don't look up lithium. Don't look up lithium mining if you don't want to ruin your day.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of those things that's so heavily debated about the whole pollution thing, and there's always that claim that the mining isn't as bad long term, but we just don't have that long term data yet.
Well, the thing is that it has to be at some point in order to scale. They have to go to less mineral rich batteries because just the nickel and lithium alone is too scarce to
you start scaling it. You're right. Your supply and demand gets out of whack, and it just like you said, it's a scale issue.
Yeah, that's how I see it at least. But no doubt it's going to continue to grow. It's just at what rate.
Yeah, I'm not looking to it for an environmental fix. I'm looking more towards the performance.
The performance is nice,
and that's gonna come in. I know I mentioned him last week. Paul and Todd from Everyday Driver and the Everyday Driver Car Debate podcast. They think that Dodge is going to flip a switch one day because they're the big horsepower company now, right? So they think that they're going to flip the switch. They're just going to be like, we make stupidly powered electric stuff now, and it'll alienate some of the old. It'll alienate some of the old school Mopar fanboys for sure. But they're kind of modern customer base that is buying their new cars that they're going to appeal to. They just probably want to go fast.
Yeah. So last week, I guess Kim Block made an announcement that him and Ford are parting ways, and as you can see, I'm a Kim Block fan, so it was kind of disappointing. But there's some talk about him possibly going back to Subaru, and what the future holds for him. Obviously, he's gotten older. And then you got the Hoonigan brand, and I guess he also has to, I'm not exactly sure, he has to give away the Hoonicorn. I'm not exactly sure how that factors in, but I guess something about him being a race car driver, it's almost on loan, I guess. What do you guys think about that?
I never knew that it was that wasn't just owned by Hoonigan. I just figured all of his cars.
That's what I thought too.
I always thought it was owned by Hoonigan until I watched that video recently where he drove that electric what was that electric
rally car
until he drove that. The way that he was talking about the Hoonicorn made it sound like Ford owned a pretty good stake in that.
Oh wow.
Because it's a completely custom chassis. I think they said the only original Mustang part of that is like the B pillar and like the roof or something like that.
Right.
It's just made to look like a Mustang, but in reality, it's an all-wheel drive, cantilever, inboard suspension, crazy engineered car.
Oh yeah, the amount of money that's been put into that, I would.
But it makes me wonder: does he own like that, like Escort, his like Escort RS Kazi, or like any of that other stuff? Like
I think that know. One he owns because that one hasn't been as extensively built, right?
No, it's more basic for sure. It's like an old school like rear wheel drive rally car, just kind of modernized.
I feel like that's his because
but
it's not unrealistic that he could afford that.
I think it's funny that he's talking about like retiring because I know he competed in WRC and a couple other things, but I just never considered him much of like a racer. Like I don't know. Even he was a stick driver
to promote the brand, not necessarily to.
Yeah, he's a guy that made it big in business. He co-founded DC Shoes. Maybe you've heard of them. And he then spent the month, took the money and went and was like, okay, well, I always wanted to be a race car driver. And then, the whole like Gymkhana thing popped up and then Hoonigan got developed. And I don't know. I always just thought of him as a businessman that could drive pretty sick.
Yeah.
Do we think Subaru will pick him up or any manufacturer will pick him up and start providing him cars? And
manufacturers want exposure to the Gymkhana series, and
that's a lot of exposure. Yeah,
the Hoonigan brand, and Subaru did the last one with Travis Pastrana, so the most recent one, whatever it was called. Hang on.
Yeah, and I think even I think I was reading in one article that Kim Block actually came into rally at a older age than most rally drivers come into it. And so I think that's why I was kind of thinking maybe retirement. And I don't know. It seems like he's kind of running out of ideas.
What is he retiring from? Is what I guess what I was getting at.
Well, he's been with Ford for 11 years and WRC, and I think he's been kind of doing his own privateer kind of thing with the Kazi, I believe.
Okay.
It's just called, I guess it's just called Gymkhana 2020 Travis Pastrana Takeover Ultimate Hometown Shred, an 862 horsepower Subaru STI,
That video
which was
pretty sweet.
fantastic. It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Oh yeah, that was worth what is it, like a 10-minute video?
Yeah, it's
It
nine
was worth
and a half minutes.
every second. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
That
free,
feels sweet.
guys.
Mhm.
You don't even have to pay for it. Okay,
right.
go watch it.
So going back to electric, I guess Renault is teaming up to develop an all-electric Alpine A110.
It's Alpine.
Yeah, with Lotus. What do you guys think about it?
It's always been a great looking car. We don't get them here in the States. I hear they drive like the business. But yeah, I'm actually looking it up. So
Yeah, I heard Lotus makes some great race cars.
I'd love to drive a petrol one.
it's not a Lotus, is it? What do you
No,
mean?
but they're working with Lotus. Isn't that what you said?
Oh,
Yeah, they're teaming up with Lotus.
yeah. If Renault can handle the drivetrain and just let Lotus do the chassis, then they should have a pretty
Be a good car.
good driving thing. Hopefully, it's just they kind of compromise some of the range to keep it relatively lightweight. That would be my only hope there, because the gasser A110 does drive so nice.
I've always
Right.
wished we got the A110s here in the States. They're such a
Yeah,
unique
it's a
front
cool
end.
car. It's a cool car. There's this guy in one of the watch groups that I'm on, and he's got a bunch of fancy watches, but he's got an Alpine A110. I'm like, and he lives in England, I think. I think he's from Portugal. But I'm like, man, every time I see that thing, it's so nice.
They are.
Do
Very
they go back
recognizable
25
front end.
years? Does anybody know
What's that?
if they go back? Do they go back 25 years? So, like, can you start importing the old Alpines?
Oh, the old
Oh, yeah,
Alpines were.
the old- there's-
yeah.
Yeah, they've been around for a long time.
Have they?
The real old ones. Yeah, this is where we need Terry, because he really he'll tell you all about the ones that he saw growing up. But
The original
no,
A110
Alpine's been-
was 61 to 77. So yeah, they're well
Okay. Oh,
well
definitely.
beyond
Yeah.
their 25-year birthday.
yeah, and those old ones are really nice looking too.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess also they mentioned in the article that we were looking at is I think it's called a $2 million Avija, I think it's hypercar.
Avaya.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
how they say that. Yeah.
With its 2,000 horsepower all electric engine. I thought that was pretty amazing.
How do I share?
But I mean, that just goes to show the kind of performance you can get out of electric engine.
I mean, pretty good. See if I can get a larger picture here.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's the.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's not. It's
Almost
not
looks like
bad.
rally
costs
car
are
like.
pretty penny. Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
yeah, it's got
It
the,
is.
the
Yeah, well, I think
front.
this one's like a racy one, but
Yeah.
But that's how the
it-
front end is, right? That's not.
yeah,
That's-
it's total. You look at the new one,
That's the
and it's
stock
totally
one.
the
Looks-
same thing.
Yeah,
Basically, yeah, the same.
yeah, and then the new one pays homage to that look.
It's not news. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah, it's such a good looking car.
Good looking, and supposedly drives like the business. It's kind of like the latest generation Ford Fiesta ST. Here it's great. Can't drive one. Unless I go over there, which I can't do. So, yeah.
Well,
So
next,
A110 looks like its production numbers are less than 5,000 units per year.
Sounds about right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
It's a sports car. I don't know. We're weirdos. Most people don't buy sports cars.
At least not new.
No, certainly not new. And that's the problem, is they're going to go away if we don't buy them new.
Looks
They are.
who might be a potential customer for the Alpine. It says the move towards EVs will potentially enable Alpine to attract customers in China, where Renault plans to stop selling vehicles equipped with internal combustion engines. So China is always a big customer.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder why they're doing that. Wonder if there's like some regulation that's kind of spurring that on. I don't know too much about. I know that their car market's new and it's just like kind of blowing up the last few years, but I don't know. And I know
Buick's
that
huge over there.
Buicks are huge. They have their own Tesla essentially called NIO,
I've seen that.
and and they actually have the model of hot swapping batteries. They're the first ones to really implement it on a large scale, and they said they've done, I don't know, some big over 40,000 battery swaps or something crazy like that.
Really?
So I haven't looked at it. I haven't, it's just off the top of my head, but it's some crazy number, some crazy 5-figure number of battery swaps.
And it looks like part of this reboot, Alpine will also focus on motorsport, specifically F1, though there will also be a presence in the World Endurance Championship. The Renault F1 team has already been rebranded Alpine for the 2021 season.
Yes, they have.
And has signed double F1 world champion Fernando Alonso as a driver.
My dude from back in the day, 05, 06 champ, and was also a champion with Renault. So, yeah, that'll be good. I knew that they were rebranding F1 this year. I don't think much else is really gonna change though.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Hayden, you want to talk to us about the 24 Hours of Daytona?
Yeah, endurance racing is back, people. Got to get excited over here. It's a slow burn, but it's good racing. And that'll be not this weekend. If you're listening, we're recording this Wednesday night, the 20th. So not this upcoming weekend. It'll be the weekend after. Thought I'd give some of you guys some time to get ready here, but they had a little bit of a silly season over there in IMSA, and a lot of teams changed, a lot of things happened, but some of the highlights are coming from outside of the got some new guys coming in from other series. You may have heard of a gentleman named Chase Elliott. He won the NASCAR Cup Series this year. He will be coming in on. I'll see. I didn't have all my stuff in order here. I'll tell you. I'll find out in a second. I forget what car he's driving. But also Jimmy Johnson, former NASCAR champion, will be making his debut along with Alexander Rossi, Simon Pagenaud, and Scott Dixon, all returning. But some of the big moves going on. Colton Herta from IndyCar will be going to a BMW GTD, and then Ryan Briscoe, who was on the winning team last year for Wayne Taylor Racing, will be in the number 62 Scuderia Corsa Ferrari. And just pull up my full entry list here.
How many classes normally run at the?
So we'll have 4 this year. You got 2 it'll actually be 5. 2 prototype classes, and 2 GT classes. So 4 classes. Excuse me. No, I'm sorry. It is 5 because there's 3 GT. Or wait, why do I keep going back and forth on this? No, it is 2G. It is 4 2 GT 2 prototype. So it's just that GT Endurance, or GTLM as it's known in IMSA, is kind of shrinking. They're only going to have 6 cars this year, and it's mostly except for Colton Herta coming out of the number 24, and Marco Wittmann, who's a BMW factory driver from DTM, will be stepping in there. And then looks like former F1 driver Timo Glock is going to be in the other BMW M8 GTE. So that'll be good. Those were really strong looking last year. And also got Kevin Magnussen from just left F1, hopping in the brand new team. This will be Chip Ganassi running a Cadillac Daytona Prototype International, and that'll be Kevin Magnussen, Ranger Van de Zanda, and Scott Dixon. So that'll certainly be a team to watch. For me, though, it's hard to go against the OGs, the guys that have been successful, even though they're switching to a different car. Wayne Taylor Racing is now with Acura and their ARX-05. But basically snagged a few of the Acura drivers, kept one Cadillac driver, and then in Felipe Albuquerque, and then snagged Ricky Taylor, Alexander Rossi, and Elio Castroneves. And of course, Ricky Taylor and Elio Castroneves are the returning champions.
Well, those sure are a lot of names
from last year.
Hayden, you attended a Daytona, right?
I attended Sebring, Sebring 12-hour last year.
How was that?
It's great. Sebring is just a big party. It's Florida, and there are people there that aren't even worried about the racing at all. But that one was good because it was two different big races going on. It was the first year of Super Sebring, so it was the World Endurance Championship, the series that runs Le Mans, and as well as IMSA. So they had WEC had their 1,000-mile race, and then IMSA did the 12-hour. But got a healthy LMP2 field, 10 cars. That's great. So it's almost like, since that's like a cheaper and more viable option than, going with the GTLM, because those are, of course, factory cars, more expensive cars, less useful cars that can't be used in as many series in the world. Got more of those. And they actually did bring on an LMP3 class this year. So yeah, a few classes. We do actually have 5 classes because they'll be running 3 prototype classes. So yeah, I won't bore you with names, but anyway, I think we'll go with those just on record here. Let's give it to the new boys to win. Chip Ganassi, Cadillac. LMP2, LMP3. I haven't looked through it, and I'm not educated on the lineups. GT Le Mans, same winners from last year. Corvette C8R, number 3. Antonio Garcia, Jordan Taylor, Nicky Katzberg. And GT Daytona, I saw an interesting squad here. There's going kind of between 2 of them, though. These guys should be interesting. Black Swan Racing, number 540, Porsche 911 GT3R, Patrick Pile, Tim Pappas, Larry Tenvorda, Patrick Lindsay. I like that squad. So, sorry, I feel like I've been delivering a Shakespearean monologue here. I usually have Terry to talk about racing with, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Check it out. It's 24 hours of racing. You can go in and out, but if you like racing, if you're an F1 fan, you like IndyCar, whatever it is, make sure you catch like the last 90 hour to 90 minutes, because that's when it gets good.
So talking our next topic here would be the Mega Millions Car Buddies pool, picking out cars they'd buy.
Yeah. So we found out that the Mega Millions this weekend, Saturday, is $970 million pot. So some of our car buddies bought in a pool, and we were talking about our winnings. We're already pre-planning winning, $25 million each or whatever it is. So I was wondering what you guys were thinking of what you would buy if you were to win the Powerball or Mega Millions or anything like that, life-changing kind of wins. Let's put that out to the peanut gallery, and also you guys, John, Matt, Hayden. What do you think you would? Some of your first purchases, car related, things like that.
How many ways am I splitting this $970 million after taxes?
Oh, yeah.
We figured for us that the pot will be after taxes about $25 million. around there.
25.
So there you go. You can't, just go. You can't go crazy, but you can have some fun.
Yeah, I
What
don't
do you
know. I would have to. I didn't plan this out, but I'd have to throw.
What's off the top of your head?
You'd have to throw in a Ferrari F40. There's no doubt about that. That's $1 million straight out the door, right? And then I've discussed my dream projects, my Porsche 962 and 935 replicas. I'd have to do at least one of those. But yeah, you just want to cover all the bases, right? I'm just same with cars and watches for me. I just want to tick boxes. Just want to have something for everything.
For every occasion.
And Matt, wouldn't you want? You'd want a V8 Miata, right? Just to have it, just to have the modern.
A flying Miata, flying
Yeah,
Miata.
that's exactly right.
That's only $80,000. It's not bad. So no, you just have to tick the boxes, and that's going to be, it's going to be different for everybody. What are y'all's boxes?
So Dave, you say 2006 Ford GT. What about the new GT Ford GTs?
Good. It's a good choice. Yeah.
I'd rather have the 06.
Why, Matt? I would go for the new one. Just being me,
I like the look of the 06 better. I don't care for the styling.
The new one is functional looking.
Yeah. Okay, well, Matt, thanks for being with us for a while. I'm going to disconnect you now.
It's been good talking with you, Matt.
I just like the.
We now have an opening for the podcast. If you'd like to join, speak up and
send you the StreamYard link. Hey, Matt, have you seen the fella around here that has a white one? I think it's white with blue stripes. It's like big, like 3-liter blower and like 900 horsepower.
No, I haven't seen that.
It's around the Cars and Coffees. I don't know who it belongs to, but I remember Steve, do you remember the first big Supercar Saturday at Mike Ward? It was a pretty good sized thing. I want to say it was like the first or one of them, and this dude had this car inside. And
I remember a red Ford GT that was inside.
Oh, maybe it was red.
You're saying white?
Maybe it was, no. I thought it was. I got pictures from that day. I'd have to look way back, but.
Hey, John, what about you? What would you buy?
I think I would be more on the kind of, sleeper budget kind of area. I've been wanting to get like a kind of like a Ford Transit kind of camper van kind of thing, and would just want to deck that out. Probably get like a Miata or a Lotus Exige or something for maybe a race car.
That's good stuff. Cool. Surprised if you're a Ford Rally fanboy, you wouldn't want a Ford RS 200. That's been on my really high level list. Like
maybe having an old Escort. Yeah, maybe add that
on. Not the RS 200 though. Oh man.
Yeah, those are pretty nice.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was thinking for myself a Maserati MC20. I think I could probably get behind one of those.
Okay. Yeah, no, I like that. That's the wait a second. Was that the Enzo one?
It's the one they just released.
Oh, the new one. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yep.
The mid-engine. Yeah, that we talked about. I remember this. Oh, yeah. Are these out? Are these out yet? Can you buy these?
You can order them. I don't know if they are
delivered
yet, but you can place orders now.
Typhoon. You really want to play with that Italian car fire, don't you?
I do.
Just risk being stranded wherever you might go.
Jeez.
Yes, it's a worry that keeps me up at night.
Well, you never know, Steve. You might have to call AAA if you're out, getting groceries or whatever it is that you do.
Yeah.
I think my car's more my Focus RS is keeping me up at night. It's still sitting at the dealership right now. I think we're on week 3. I think it was getting a cat replaced, and now there's a oil pan that needs to be replaced. We're not going to go into how that happened because the dealership gave me a Ford Ranger, and so I've been enjoying it. So I'm not going to mention anything else on that.
Oh, so you didn't? Okay, never mind.
Yeah, it sounds like that
Yeah.
may have been out
Yeah.
of his hands.
Did you think
Huh.
I bought? Did you think I bought a new truck or?
No, I was wondering what what.
All right.
He's wondering what the oil pan story was.
Yeah, the loaner.
I think the truck is actually kind of misunderstood. I mean, I'm pretty impressed. It has the EcoBoost kind of engine in there, and I mean it goes pretty quick for. I'm
Is it a
surprised people
2.3?
aren't snatching them, huh?
It's a 2.3.
Yeah, 2.3, but I mean it gets up and goes.
No, they all those 2.3s are fine. I mean, they're
Yeah.
300 horsepower out of the box. I mean,
Yeah.
And
Well,
the
this is a
350
Ranger.
Yeah, the Ford Ranger. Yeah.
So what else do you think about it? What else are your thoughts? Because I don't think I've seen too many of them.
Yeah, I haven't really seen any. I saw a blue one earlier today, but I haven't really saw much. I've been actually thinking about doing a review on it. There's some things I do like, some things I don't like. I didn't like where the start button was. It's kind of like right next to my knee. I don't know if that's just because of my height, but I didn't like that. But it had some technology to it, like it'll automatically turn on high beams, and then when it senses the lights of another car, it'll turn it off. So I mean, it's pretty nice. I mean, being a kind of turbo truck, it's I think that's the big selling point on it.
Yeah, my dad's had a few of the EcoBoost F-150s, and they drive really nice. They've got some good pep.
Yeah.
What trim is the one that you?
I believe it's the Lariat.
Lariat. Yeah, this is the luxury leather
Gave you a
interior.
nice one.
Yeah. It could use a heated steering wheel, but
Got to get the platinum for
Doesn't
that.
have that.
Sorry,
yeah,
buddy.
yeah.
I a while back, I actually had a 1986 Ford Ranger.
Oh,
Very different.
I did not have it too long. I bought it after I graduated from tech school here at Lowry Air Force Base in Denver. I flew home to home. Home was in Maryland. And my first duty station was in Patrick Air Force Base down in Florida. So I was driving the Ranger from Maryland, Western Maryland, down to Florida. I made it to Virginia on I-95. I fell asleep and woke up in an accident. I totaled the Ranger, got a reckless driving ticket, which was great for my insurance. Dave Lowry was no help at all. And
Dave, come on.
I took a bus the rest of the way to my first base.
Oh.
Took the insurance money and promptly bought a 85 Mustang GT, which was not smart at all. But these were young airman things that I did when I first arrived there at Patrick Air Force Base.
Oh man, we really need Dan in here. Dan and Terry know the young guy in the military.
Hey, I mean, 21% interest. That's really good, right? For your first
great
Ford Mustang GT.
How many more young military stereotypes were you filling out, Steve?
Probably more than one.
The Mustang is classic because that's just like the Mustang or the Camaro is just what you do in that scenario.
Yeah, I had
no disrespect to anyone, by the way.
Right.
Respect the troops. I'm just saying. I've noticed patterns.
I had no thought of buying a reasonable car like maybe a Ford Escort at the time, or a Toyota Tercel, or some Sentra, which all these have been smart choices. And I bought a black 85 Mustang GT, which was awesome. Paid through the nose for insurance, paid through the nose for the car loan. But I was living in the dorms, few responsibilities, and so yeah, it was
seen pictures of you in that car.
I might be able to find one or two.
No, I think I've seen them, but that's good stuff. I remember seeing your father.
So I had that red Ford Ranger for about 2 to 3 weeks, and that was it.
Jeez.
wow.
Glad I've never done that, man. That's falling asleep at the wheel is brutal.
It's scary.
Yeah, real scary, especially in an 84 Ford Ranger.
No airbags.
Not exactly safe.
I was wearing my seatbelt. My glasses flew off, and I hit my hand on the key. That was about it. So the real pain was the reckless driving ticket, as the cop was driving me to a hotel after the accident. It's like, here's the hotel and here's your ticket. Have a nice day.
Well, at least he gave you a free ride. Didn't make you get a cab. Oh.
Oh, talking about another car that's going away. It's the Volkswagen Golf base model. I guess the GTI and the Golf R are still going to be here, but as far as American production, the base level Volkswagen Golf will be going away. What do you guys think about that?
I am shocked.
Didn't we talk about this? Didn't we talk about this some time ago that most of the Golfs that we end up seeing are GTIs? Like, I can't remember the last time they've seen a newer.
Yeah, I think the majority of them, yeah.
In other
GTI
news,
or not.
Volkswagen still makes the base Golf for America. Who knew?
Right, I didn't even know that.
You don't see them.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, I understand why they're not.
Why don't we
selling.
see them? Are they just
Small cars, economy cars are not
Don't sell.
popular, period.
Right.
If people
Okay.
do get them, they
Come on,
usually get.
performance.
Well, it's not even just that. If somebody does want a base, car like that, they're not usually looking at the VWs. It's going to be like a Nissan Versa or, even like a Honda Fit. You can still get those. But yeah, they, for whatever reason, I don't know. VW is kind of almost like a pseudo luxury brand here in the States, and it's not that way in Europe at all.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at VWs, if the people that would be in the market for a 5-door hatchback like that's not a performance hatchback. It's not that much more to get into a Tiguan.
Yeah, and also think like how cheap if you do. Yes, there he is. A young Steve and a Fox body.
Yeah, that was my Mustang. I don't know if you can see the mouse or not, but Florida is great for rust. So this is all dark. Yeah. This is all rust right through there. Yeah.
Nice.
After I paid a lot for this paint job as well.
Oh no.
I made great choices back then. Man. Yeah. You do. You got to learn. You got to make those mistakes, right?
Oh yeah, it's a rite of passage.
So eventually, maybe you can pass them on to your kids, those lessons learned, and they totally disregard you and make their own choices.
Right, they actually don't know what you're talking about. Oh yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Steve, I'm just happy that I nudged you just ever so slightly towards getting the best modern Mustang that there is.
Yeah.
Just even, and I know you know
it was great.
That was a couple of years, and you moved on, but yeah, no, I just always adored those things ever since I worked at a Ford dealership, and we were selling them new. So cool.
Quite the buy. I mean, getting a used one that's a couple of years old, it's a lot of performance, just amazing.
Yeah, and my pitch to Steve was, and to anybody out there that's even like had them on their radar, if you love a special engine, that is like the special engine to have that's of something that's reasonably priced, like under $50,000-$60,000. It's pretty hard to touch such a cool engine than that. And granted, they got their drawbacks from what I've heard, but
you just pour the oil in and don't worry about anything else. Just keep pouring the oil in; it'll be fine.
It burns oil. It's meant to do that.
I got my used 2016 for $48,000.
And this was a couple of years ago, so they've
years. It was a lot of car for the money, for sure.
And then I think the 2016s. Sorry,
what does a spec'd out GT new go for? So you're not too much more.
35 for like luxury performance pack.
Yeah,
40 maybe at the most.
It's a lot more performance than.
Yeah, and you get the good gearbox. You get the Tremec 6-speed, because the one in the GT is just terrible compared to how the Tremec feels. That is the one selling point for the Camaro, is you get the Tremec at the base SS level. So
Dave, do I miss the GT350? I miss the sound. Nothing would ever compare to the sound of that car. Just makes you giggle every time you turn it on, open the active exhaust, and as soon as you can. So I missed that part about it. Why did I get rid of it? It was the tech pack versus the track pack. If I were to get a 2017, they would have had both the track and the tech pack within one package. At the time, Ford wasn't offering that for the 2016.
Track pack was
So-
standard with the 17, so all of them were track pack, but you could
Right.
add that on. Yeah.
Right. So you wouldn't get the transmission or the diff coolers in the if you didn't get the track pack. So that was the only reason one of the reasons why I eventually sold it. Plus an opportunity for the Alpha came up. But yeah, amazing car. It felt a little big, just felt, the 4 foot wide tires would just track all over the road. They would find every crack in the road and just kind of want to follow it. And so you'd have to stay awake driving the car because of the tram lining. But otherwise, on the track was great. I had a great time at HPR with that. But yeah, the red line was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, there's something so silly about revving out a big old V8 to 8,200 RPM. That's just
Right, and that's something that you'll see less and less of as we go forward.
Yeah,
You're going to see more. You're going to see more and more turbos, and then you'll see electric. So, yeah, grab one if you can. 2017 or newer.
Yeah. If you never even think about going to the track, if that's not even on your radar, if you just want to, just take it out into the mountains, for your fun time with it, 2016 is probably fine and you can get those at a discount. But if you're even thinking about taking it to the track like Steve ended up doing and finding out that it does need coolers.
It will
Did
go
it
into
shut
limp
down on
mode.
you?
It will.
Yeah.
It will go into limp mode. It will protect itself. You come back off the track, let it cool off, and then head back out. But yeah, Mark, definitely flat plane crank. Definitely a special kind of engine.
It's a different sound.
We got all the way from VW not making the Golf for America to your GT350. Just thought it was wonderful.
Okay. That's okay. That's what these podcasts.
No.
are for.
It's a free form conversation, but no, I just thought that was amusing.
Well, I think we can talk about another rear-wheel drive car that's going to be coming out. It's around the 70,000 range. It's the Porsche Taycan. I guess they're going to make another model that's coming out. What do you guys think about that?
I'd say more closer to 79. So you're actually talking 80 plus by the time you're out the door there, John. So
All right.
let's call it what it is. It's an 80K plus car, but that is 20 to 24,000 off the next level up. I don't know if it's turbo. It's not Turbo S, but maybe the turbo.
Next level, it'll be the 4S.
4S.
So what's out now is the 4S and the turbo.
But this one's kind of exciting as the base entry level Taycan, rear wheel drive. Hey,
so we knew this was
like rear wheel drive here, so we included.
So we knew this was coming because they just the way that they released the higher end trims first with the turbo and the 4S, which according I haven't. You've driven one, haven't you? Or you almost drove one? You drove one and it broke.
Almost drove one. We went down to do a review as Colorado Cars and Coffee. We were invited down to Porsche of Colorado Springs. We had our audio video team there. We were ready, and the car broke down, so we couldn't drive the Taycan. Which we need, John. Hey, we need to give you a call and find out when we can back down and do that review.
Please.
But, yeah.
So
we were allowed. We drove a 992 instead, which was fun.
So yeah, we knew this thing was coming, and that the upper trims are just ridiculous. I mean, it seems like the turbo is just spaceship fast, and the 4S is very nearly almost as fast as that. Not really, it's not really slower. It's not just saying that the turbo is not usably faster on the street than the 4S, but yeah, we knew this one was coming. I guess the price range sounds about right, about what you would expect for what it is and what the upper trims are going for. But
so, I mean, what is this? How's this going to compare performance wise to you said the 4S is the next one up?
yeah.
So
I
maybe
was
what
just trying to-
kind of power differences are we going to be looking at, and what kind of 0 to 60 difference are we looking at here?
Sir,
What's the name of this trim? Does it have a?
It's going to be just called Taycan and Taycan S.
Taycan. Yeah.
It's just going to be Taycan, and then they'll probably have an S version, I would imagine. That'll be like that'll be like the, the performance rear wheel drive Tesla one, that'll be a little more power, but still RWD. I'm trying to make sense of this because they quote larger battery capacity has been chosen with relative overboost figures.
Seeing 312 or 374 horsepower.
With the overboost, it's 402 and 469.
Right. 0 to 60 around 5.4 seconds, maybe a little bit less, but tops out 142 miles per hour. So it would be the slowest one in the range. Should be. It's the entry level.
Right.
But the fun thing about it, rear wheel drive, I wonder how that would make it feel. Yes, these are heavy cars. Were they 5,500 pounds? How much they weigh?
Probably something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the direction I was going with that is that, at $80,000, is it worth chopping off, is it worth saving that $20,000 for what you're giving up? And then at that point, is it worth looking at something else if you're looking to get into something at 80,000?
I don't know, because you're looking at this or like a lower or like a base. It's kind of you're directly comparing this to a Model S. So it's going to be kind of 80 on up, but it looks like 4,771. Yeah. About 4,800 pounds is the lowest quoted weight. I imagine if you get all the bells and whistles and the, larger battery and the Turbo S, it goes up to 5,119. So a little less than 55.
So there is some chassis differences, cheaper. So removal of some key technology. They used the steel coil springs instead of 3-chamber air suspension that you find in the other Taycans. Some smaller 6-piston front brakes. So it's stripped a little bit. Although it does say a reduction in weight, although it's unconfirmed how much.
Yeah, because I guess what they're quoting,
motors, right?
Probably the official numbers that they're quoting can't be from the base. It has to be from the 4S. So yeah, probably. I'm gonna say 40. I'll say 4,200 pounds. I'll say they drop 500 pounds out of that thing, taking out the front drivetrain and putting in a smaller battery, and maybe if they save a little bit of weight here and there elsewhere, we can get up to about 500 pounds, maybe.
Yeah,
it does make it.
Anything about? Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, an 80K Taycan makes an interesting point, say in 3 to 4 years when it's 50 to 60, more affordable for more people. So that's interesting possibility there.
Yeah.
And they say that these. Sorry, go ahead, Matt.
Your turn, Matt. Yeah.
What's the difference between, in terms of drivetrain hardware? What's the difference between their all-wheel drive and their rear-wheel drive? Is it a difference of
I'm not sure.
Mid differential? I mean, is there a separate motor that they have on the front in their all-wheel drive, or is it one motor being split? So you're losing the weight of the motors in the front, right? Yeah.
It's gonna have just a motor for the rear axle and not one for each axle.
Yeah.
So that'll be a big part of it. The appealing thing about this car is that, at least it seems like it very much drives like a Porsche, even though it's an electric car. It kind of has that lineage with the 911, and it's extremely
that's what we've seen, that review after review after review. This feels like a Porsche. This drives like a Porsche.
Yeah, so it's awesome, and it's why they're my favorite car company, that they're able to kind of put their DNA into these different things, and just do the small stuff like, hey, we're going to have an electric steering rack, but it has to be up to our standards. Mm-hmm. So it's not, it's still going to have a lot of feel and really mimic the kind of hydraulic steering feel and all that. I mean, they just make cars for drivers. So, and it's hard to find that anymore. BMW certainly got off that train a long time ago. They don't make cars for anybody with eyes either. That's the big problem nowadays.
Yeah, that's one thing.
If you have eyeballs, they melt out when you look at the new 4
beaver teeth.
Yeah, you can't look at the beaver teeth for too long. Medusa, it turns you to stone.
So rough. So not easy on the eyes.
Let's not talk about them right now.
No, we've made our peace on those there.
Right, I wasn't there for those. You guys, I think you did. I think you really got into the beaver teeth back in December when I was working every Wednesday.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're up to the sponsor, Keith.
Oh, okay. We're at sponsor time. All right. Awesome. We've got Smart Myth Racing. So this is operated by Mark Smith. He's here in Denver, and he deals definitely with wheels and tires. 6 years in his current location. He does all kinds of custom wheels, reverse mounts, stretching, race tires, cantilever, suspension work, alignments. Definitely competitive against Tire Rack and Discount, Les Schwab, and those guys. He also does servicing on import cars, engine replacements, head gaskets, steering racks, all kinds of car repair service. So you can find him at Smart A Myth Racing, and he's at 4895 Washington Street down in Denver. So his benefit for our Cars and Coffee members, it's 10% off labor, non-tires, regular service. So I just want to say thanks to Mark for sponsoring Colorado Cars and Coffee. Go check him out.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I think we're about to wrap this up. You guys have anything else you want to add, or is that about?
I've got something, John. Hey, in a couple weeks, we're going to do a couple specials. We are going to do an EV or electric vehicle special podcast. We're going to do 2 of them. The first one will be our regular podcast team discussing EVs for the entire podcast. And then the following week, it'll be, we're inviting some guests to be on the show, some EV owners and some other EV folks that are in the industry to join with us and just talk their experiences and trials and tribulations, challenges, and also maybe the exciting positive things that they have with EVs. So that should be a couple of cool podcasts. We want you all you guys and gals to make sure you join in with us on those. We're planning for, let's see my dates and times. I believe it is in February. We're looking at February 3rd for the EV podcast with our team, and then February 11th for the EV podcast with our guest that we'll have on with us. So please join us. Come and we'll talk EVs, and come please join in. That's all I got, John. Thanks.
Awesome. Sounds electrifying.
Where's your sound thing? Ba-boom.
Yeah. You need some sort of gag sound, like just like
Here's this one, maybe. There we go.
Yes. There you go. Very good. This guy's ready. That better show up on the audio. I hope StreamYard picked that up.
Yeah.
I guess if I heard it, they did.
Yeah, I think it should.
Yeah, we should be good.
Yeah, so we want to thank you guys all out there for listening to our podcast and joining us with the live stream and chatting with us on Facebook. As always, we love your feedback. Tell us what you like and what could be improved. You can stay in touch with the local car scene by visiting our website, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube by searching Colorado Cars and Coffee and doing what you do here, being on live stream and sending in your questions and comments on Facebook. Well, it's time for us to grab our coffee and hit the road. That's it for us here at Colorado Cars and Coffee. See you down the road, everyone.
All right. Thanks for joining, everybody.
Thank
We'll
you.
see y'all later. Have a good one.